I would call this webinar as started and open, and this webinar should be focused on the future of let's say PR services, and it should show what we will be talking in our event during Cannes Lions, and that event calls PR in Cannes. And the main aim of PR in Cannes, of this event, is traditional PR services breaking into solutions for business, which means that we all believe that public relations is no more the industry which sends stuff out and waiting for of outputs, but we are rather consultants which are helping leaders of organizations we've been working for to do their job better and help these organizations to grow, to improve their reputation, and sell better, hire better people, keep them, and just do better business on an everyday basis. My name is Patrik Schober, and I'm from PRAM Consulting, based in Prague, and we've been organizing PR in Cannes for the ICCO this year. And together with me today here are some of the sponsors. So Cara from SEC Newgate, Corinna Voss from HBI, and Judy Bakieh and Sarah Alsalem. They are young clients, winners from MENA and Cannes Lions, or young clients in Cannes, and they are representing PRCA. The overall sponsors of PR in Cannes are WorldCom, Global Women in PR, FIBEP, IW Group, Briefcase, UNDP, Team Farner, Karma, EMEC, Provoke Media as a media partner, M&A advisory, and I was representing. I was also mentioning SEC Newgate. If we are talking about the future of PR services and future of public relations, we ran a survey along the sponsors, and we've been asking sponsors and their clients about various, or we were discussing in the survey various topics, and regarding media relations and measurement and direct communication with C-level executives, and some ROI of investing into public relations, and of course it wouldn't be the right webinar today if we wouldn't be talking about AI, and at this webinar we will be talking about how PR is ready, PR industry, how it's ready, and how it's implementing AI into our solutions. But I believe from where we should start is actually evaluation, because as I said at the beginning, we are no more industry which is just sending some press releases out and then counting number of outputs. And those who are doing it, definitely they don't have that access to boardrooms, and to boardrooms we will get the access if we will be able to evaluate our campaigns and communications in the way how C-level managers would like to hear, or in language they understand. Definitely, what they don't understand is AVE, and what actually amazed me, or I was shocked when EMEC about half a year ago, I think, said that still 50% of PR professionals are globally are using AVE to evaluate the communication. Our survey shows that actually 65% indicates that 65% of PR professionals are using some new benchmarks and metrics to evaluate the success and impact of PR in campaigns. So I believe that the situation is getting better. But I would like to start with Cara. And Cara, how, from a perspective of global agency, how do you see the situation in evaluation of PR campaigns, and generally, what do you think about future of public relations industry in the meaning of that main theme of the PR in Cannes, which means traditional PR services breaking into solutions for business?
Thanks, Patrik. Just that little tiny question, right? I mean, I think that there have been some fundamental shifts sort of in what we do and our responsibility as practitioners. And I would say, and I'm going to try to remove all of the default jargon for it, but I think generally speaking, I think there were for many years that we looked at briefs that were coming in and work with clients. And, the responsibility of PR was to provide a communication solution to a communications problem. And I think what we've seen, and you see it in Cannes and you see it with the creative, is the seat at the table that PR has, and I think will continue to have, and I think it's probably one of the bigger fundamental shifts, is our responsibility is to really solve business problems and business challenges. And I think where PR strategies are, now really anchored in the business objectives of our clients, not just really like their communications needs, I think is probably for me one of the biggest shifts. Because when we think about some of the work that advertising and marketing agencies would do and some of the creative we see, they're solving a clear, business challenge, whether that's a product launch, whether it's sales, kind of whatever those beats may be. But PR is now doing that too. And I think we have a bit of an agility advantage for some of the work that we do. We kind of sit still in all of the integrated media, the earn first creative, and some of those things that I just think from a PR perspective, it's core to what we do and who we are. So we sort of have that advantage. But I think in thinking about that around the business objective, it goes back to what you were saying also about the C-suite, because that's where we're sitting, because it's a problem that's their responsibility. So I think for me, probably that's one of the biggest shifts, and I think just building on that for a moment would also be, I look at creativity as, right, it reflects the moment that we're in. And again, I think for PR, there's a bit of an agility to that for us. So again, if what we're really doing is solving business challenges and aligning our strategies with business objectives, again, versus communications solutions, which we may still do, and it's the beautiful basics of what we do as an industry and profession. But again, on that business side of it, and sort of reflecting the moment, again, we just have a different agility to solve different types of problems for our clients. And I would say, I think that's been a big shift. We saw from PR many, many years ago, right, where we started doing more integrated media and, thinking about earn first creative. And then we see advertising agencies coming in and doing PR and, the best idea wins. But again, I think it's some of just the fundamental elements of our industry that sort of differentiate us. But I would say the biggest evolution, I think, for me is the shift from communications to really solving business challenges.
Mm-hmm. And okay, I have to ask if we are talking about evaluation, I have to ask about AI. Do you use any special tools, and how are you actually preparing your agency for this, let's say, new generation of or new age of way of working? Actually, I see it this way.
I mean, the ultimate question. I you know, I came from previously, I've worked for two large holding companies. So I'd started my career with Omnicom and then had been at WPP before Newgate. And so kind of having come from the WPP significant investment in AI to seeing what we're doing at Newgate, I think I sort of have maybe shifted my perspective on how we use AI. I think that we're going to see agencies who sort of build their own tools and invest heavily in that. And there's sort of the integrity of that. And then I think that we're going to see tools that are developed that sort of become the Meltwater brand watch type of tools that are accessible to everyone. And I think some agencies are going to make choices about, are you really innovating more and creating the whole suite of tools that would be fundamental to how you run your business? Or are you going to sort of adapt based on what's there and some of the best in class tools? And I would say at Newgate, it's a little bit of both, where I think there's sort of the everyday efficiencies that we have. And I think right now, focusing on some of the operational efficiencies that just drive value for our clients is sort of a base necessity to be competitive. And then there are a few tools, but I think for us, we're really focusing them on what we do best. So instead of looking at AI in a myriad of different ways, we're looking at specific tools that we're developing that look at reputation metrics that enable us to really focus on corporate affairs. And again, so I think pulling back from just looking at like, how can we incorporate AI in everything we do, to saying, how can we use AI as like fundamental business solution for us that will benefit our clients and our people? And then how can we just laser focus on anything that we're innovating and new tools that we're kind of bringing to market, being super specific on kind of the corporate affairs reputation elements. So I would say, Patrik, the specific answer would be fundamentally, operationally in our business, we use it, every day to create value. But again, when it comes to the tools, I think we've pulled away from looking for like a one size fits all suite of AI tools for all of our clients to looking at like some very intentionally built tools that are specific to reputation measurement and some of those types of tactics.
Yeah, thank you. And I think that this shows also the survey we have done. By the way, different AI tools are recording this webinar and will turn it into text and maybe PowerPoint presentation. So I think we are all already using it quite a lot. But another question goes again regarding AI and ethics. Do you have some internal rules, or you just use some or not? Sorry, tools. I mean internal bylaws how to use the AI, or do you use something what was communicated, for example, by ICCO or other trade associations?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's a little bit of a journey, to be honest with you. I mean, I think from the transparency, obviously, with clients, that's a big piece of it. And then I think the expectations of really like, use responsibly, I would say is pretty much the mantra in terms of how people are using it. The expectations for disclosures, the expectations around transparency for our employees to know. And then I think the other big piece of it relative to kind of whether it's ethics and best practices or kind of the use responsibly is working with our clients to also make sure that the tools that we're using are the tools that they're using, which honestly I think is a really big piece of it. So I would say there are definitely some very specific procedures and expectations and guidelines for employees for usage. And then I think what we're working through is also sort of aligning with clients on those expectations to make sure that if we're delivering something and we're using a specific set of tools, that their other agency partners are also aligned on those tools, just to kind of make sure that we're pulling data and again, being responsible partners in that way. So yes, to sort of internal expectations and those guidelines, and then also working with our clients, again, just to make sure that best practices across teams and other agencies that they're partnering with, that we really have that as well, because there just has to be consistency on kind of sources of data and information. So I think that that's part of it as well. So maybe not as far on the ethical side of it as it is more on the responsible and kind of like the responsibility that we have for using the tools.
Thank you, Cara. Actually,
Yeah.
Corinna, as I know, you have some internal guidelines you actually developed. Could you please let us know about AI guidelines you have and where actually you took all the information for that?
Yeah, I have to agree with Cara. It's a bit of a journey here. We come from a very regulated environment here in Germany, GDPR. We have everything regulated, so we immediately thought we have to regulate that too because it's in our DNA. So we started to work with our lawyer and on it. And I said there are various sides to those guidelines. The one is the visibility to the client that you're using AI, because I think it's absolutely rightful that they know what you're using and how you do your results and so on. So that was one part. Then it was a lot about privacy because, of course, some of the tools just don't respect that. So we want to make sure we're using the right tools. If so, 100% compliant with any privacy regulations in the country. And it was a bit of a journey. We had these guidelines, and then we looked at the guidelines. We found them too regulated because we saw new trends coming up, new tools coming up. So we went back to talk to lawyers because for them as well, it's a learning curve, right? So we came back and said, we think this is a bit too regulated. Can we get a bit looser? We want to use this and that. And how do we control our team? Because there's something like what you call shadow AI. Oh, I found this tool, I want to use it, not asking anybody if it's compliant, just it does a great job for me. So how do you get all these parties regulated? And that is something I have to be honest, Patrik, we're still working on. It's been revised. I think we are in version 10 point something. But I think the biggest challenge really for me at the moment is internally, because so people are so carried away by everything they can do with those tools. They don't even look what they're downloading or using. And I want to make sure that client data, because that's sensitive, doesn't get into tools that may be going somewhere. So it is a learning curve and we're working on it, but we started very early, I think about 2 years ago already with those regulations.
And a bit keeping on that topic of AI, but let's step or look at back a year. And together with you, you were talking on PR in Cannes about future of media relations. How do you see media relations these days? And do you still believe that earned media is something in public relations we can focus on, and how AI actually can help us with media relations?
I think in the survey you could see, and that I think is a bit of a dilemma agencies are facing. They still spend a lot of time on that very traditional way of doing their work. I think it was something like over 57% said they would still do that.
Yes.
And that, of course, is resources you use. I think PR agencies and departments are in a very good situation, from my opinion, because we are, as Cara said, we are the content creators, we are agile, we know to use opportunities. But I think we have to move away from that perception that media relations is what we should solely measure. We have to look into how we can serve a special purpose and not so much the purpose of creating ink, but the purpose, as Cara said, of solving problems. And this can be media relations. It's not that media relations is not one approach, but it cannot be the only one. We have to get very much diverse. We have to be embracing change. I think I can believe, because I'm one of the older personnel in the agency, and we all have agencies. We have various groups. You have the guys that are fresh on the job and they embrace anything that's coming. And then but you also have the senior guys that maybe have all the know-how and expertise, but you also have to include them in the change. So I think, yes, media relations will still be a part, but we have to think far beyond that and really look at our consulting expertise, because I think that is something where we come in, right? I mean, not so much I talk to this journalist, I placed a byline article, but more on like, how can I help C-level people to really make a difference and be a thought leader and be a visionary? That I think will be our future.
Okay, and how do you in these days measure your success regarding first earned media and second generally? Do you use still AVE? Are you forced to use AVE? Because, for example, I can say that some clients they still would like to see the AV in combination with some other metrics. Even we explain them that the AV is nothing real. How do you see success in PR campaigns?
It's not that I have the golden grail. I mean, I haven't found it yet. What would be the ultimate measurement tool? We're using an AI-based platform, and we've put some of our own expertise on top, and it actually analyzes a lot on tone of voice. It does a lot of comparison. It does not only look at media, it looks at everything that's out there. But we still have the AVE fans. I have to say that, especially when they are not communication professionals. They may be coming from a sales function or something, and you tell them, "Oh, this is worth 4 million." It rings a bell with them. I think it. I always tell them it could be 4 million for you having a real crisis, yeah, and bad reputation. But with some decision makers, it still rings a bell, Patrik. And it's sad to say, and you always have to really tell them how to see the AVA and how to interpret it. But you still have these guys, and I don't think they will go away ever. And we have this platform, and it calculates the AVA. And if they want to know, I send it over. But I always give it an interpretation or a summary saying this is really not what it's about. But still, you have these guys. You will always have them, in my opinion.
Okay, thank you very much, Corinna. Now to you, Judy and Sarah. How actually you see generally the future of public relations in the meaning of delivering impact for companies?
Thank you so much, Patrik.
And of course from the young professionals in the industry.
Yeah. I mean, I think we can agree with a lot of the points that our colleagues here had mentioned, but in terms of like the shift and how we see like success and things like that, I really have seen that, you know, across our clients, the 360 approach is really, 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 you know, becoming more broad. There's that fine line between what a marketing stunt is, what a PR stunt is, when marketing is coming in, when advertising is coming in, and just one of our clients where we're really intertwined with all the different agencies, we can really see that we have the digital, you have the media buying, and you have the marketing all working together. So I think the future of PR, coming from younger professionals, not that young though, coming from professionals, is that it is going to be more intertwined, and that fine line between what PR is and what marketing is really, you know, just fading away slowly, because I think it's, someone just mentioned earlier, like a great idea is a great idea, regardless of where it's coming from. So whether that's like digital or marketing, it's still, you know, a great idea.
Yeah, just jumping in here as well, just to kind of add on that. So even like at Gambit, what we did is that we actually created a department called the Integrated Comms Department. Why? Because we saw that, okay, there has to be a way that we are actually working 360 with the other departments, with social, with marketing, as Sarah was saying, because it can't be a standalone anymore. It cannot work in silo. And this is what we're trying to do. And that's why all of our campaigns right now, we work together, we work with the other creatives to actually come together and see what we can do and what the campaign would work best to actually do what Cara was saying, in the sense where actually achieve the business objectives, because this is what we're doing right now. We need to come up with ideas and solutions that actually work on all fronts, and that where we can tackle all the communication platforms, whether that's the social medias, whether that's traditional press, and so on and so forth. So I think it's very important that we're actually moving into this very integrated space where we're all working together and have one vision. It cannot be that our social platforms are saying something different than what our press is saying, and so on and so forth. And it really all depends on what the client is trying to achieve. And this is super important. And that's why there has to be one voice, one tone of voice across all channels, all going towards one purpose. And that's why, like, even when any client comes to us, we tell them, okay, what is your objective for the year? Tell us what your objective is, and that way we can all put our efforts in one direction on all fronts. And this has to be a meeting with all the agencies, the creatives, the marketeers, the everything. We work together in one direction, and we work to complement each other and actually all have the same direction, versus where beforehand it used to be a separate meeting and we all used to be doing our own thing. Now you can see that shift. You can see that insane shift where we're all coming together and working hand on hand. And this is where you're creating the award-winning campaigns. This is where you're creating something where it's actually achieving something. It's actually hitting those business objectives. And at the end of the day, that's what the company wants. They want their reputation to, at the end, achieve their business objectives. That's what it's all about at the core of it. So I think this is where we are seeing that shift. And actually, even like in Cannes at the Young Lions, we also saw this. You see that when you get a PR brief, that you actually need to think about the social aspect of it. It cannot just be traditional press. Our campaign that we did for the Cannes Young Lions was 360. It wasn't just focusing on the traditional press. It had a PR stunt. What is a PR stunt actually? It's actually a marketing activation with the right press around it, with the right reach and reaching the right channels. But at the core of it, it's actually a marketing activation. And that's why sometimes, even when clients come to us and say, we want to create a PR stunt, okay, a PR stunt, but it's kind of, we need to work with marketing on this, right? And then we create the right communications around it. We amplify what the marketing is doing. So what you can see here is that we're all hand in hand. We're all working together in different ways. But at the end of the day, we can no longer work in silos. And I think, just going back to Cara was saying, that's exactly it. That is the agility. That evolution is just like insane. And we see it more and more, maybe on the younger side, because we see that the people that we want to reach, the audiences now are more on these social platforms versus, let's say, the traditional press. So even on the LinkedIn is considered to be a social media platform for the C-suites and so on and so forth. So that is actually their social presence, and the thought leadership that they do there, we see them actually posting on LinkedIn more versus the traditional press and so on and so forth. So I think it's just finding that fine line, as Sarah was saying, and kind of understanding that, no, we actually need to come together and actually need to work together to make to actually achieve our goals and our clients' goals.
Okay, thank you. And if you are mentioning PR stand, and this can be some kind of initiation point for communication, and of course I agree with you that we have to think about campaigns from a 360 perspective. Where do you see media relations in that kind of way of thinking about PR campaigns, if we are talking about PR stand, for example? Yes, PR stand might be a tool for marketing. We've been using it in public relations. Overall, both parties, like marketing and public relations, are using it in a very similar way. But if you are talking about marketing, the PR is kind of like left behind. But in public relations, in PR agencies, we look at media relations as one of the main communication channels. So where do you see it?
So
The
I think
earned media,
earned
media.
I think the PR stunt is actually the perfect way to get earned media. So for example, it depends on the type of stunt that you're doing. I mean, if it's a PR stunt that's like an ad or something that's happening with customers, but building that voice and building that virality, which actually becomes a PR stunt, is your, you know, your biggest chance of actually getting that earned media. We've just had a few like stunts in the past where we got actually proactive, you know, media relations reaching out, hey, I just saw this and it's going viral here. Can you let us know what happened there? Or can you let us know, like, this is driving the conversation. So PR stunts, they just ultimately drive conversation. And these conversations, they do reach to the media and the media relations. So I think it's a great tool for us to get that earned coverage. I can't say it's about every single PR stunt that happens, because some of them might not be very relevant to certain, you know, outlets, but it is a very great tool that we've been using to get that coverage.
And
Judy,
I think also
would you like to add
yeah, no,
something?
on that note as well, I feel, yeah, no, I was just going to say that also on that note, I mean, at the end of it, you do need media relations. It is very important, because also when you have that relationship, you are even able to tell these people, okay, keep an eye out, we're doing something exciting. You need them to actually have that connection with you, right? It's very important. And also heads up, for example, something is coming next week, keep an eye out. If you have something related to, let's say, I don't know, AI, let me know, our client has, you need media relations at the end of the day, you need it. And because at the end of the day, they also need a source of that information. As Sarah was saying, if something's happening, they'll reach out to you. They know who to contact. They know that they can speak to you, and so on and so forth. And they give you the opportunity to share your client's perspective on what's happening and more information, and so on and so forth. So you do need media relations. And as we were saying before, like, you cannot wipe it out, and it will continue to be a great factor into the success of the campaigns and of the client work. And it's very important, alongside the different the other things that we need to do in parallel. But definitely it is important. And yeah, go ahead, Sarah.
I just wanted to add, I think, Corinna, you were mentioning about media relations and that it's not, you know, the most important thing. But I do want to note that, for example, whatever it is that we're doing as PR professionals and agencies, it always ties up to what, like, for example, what AVE, it ties to what our clients want. So at the end of the day, I know we're changing, we're evolving, we're changing the approach and what PR is all about. But we do need, you know, the AVE, unfortunately, we're still all doing it because our clients are asking for it. And no matter how much you educate them about it, they still need some kind of measurement to measure the value of PR. And I think this is a topic that we've been having for the past, I think, at least 10 years, like the past decade. Is AVE measure? Do we need to keep measuring or not? Media relations, same thing. And I think media relations is really important, just to, when you have those days and you do need those relationships when the client is pushing for something that, you know, is not very PRable, I would say. So just that point on media relations.
Yeah.
It's great to hear it from a young generation, actually, Sarah. Thank you very much. What do you think about PR being as a industry and consulting service for C-suite, for company owners and company managers? Do you think that in the next decade we will be in better position, we as an industry will be in better position regarding leaders of those organizations, that we are actually heading there?
Just before we answer, I think Corinna wanted to mention something.
Sorry.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I think that media relations is still the core, right? I mean, absolutely agree. I think we are also, as agencies or as communication professionals, in a sweet spot to consult the C-suite, because that should be something that we as communication pros should understand best, right? So I think that is definitely the future for us.
No, definitely. And just going back to your question, I just wanted to say, I think on the contrary, we are definitely in the position to actually be doing this consultancy to the C-suites. We are the right people for this, because it's all about reputation, right? And when a C-suite, what does he want to do? He wants to control his profile. He wants to control how he's positioned in the industry, correct? And we have all the tools. This is literally our bread and butter of how to know where this leader should be. Where should he be talking about? When should he be saying stuff? Where should he be saying this stuff? Who should he be talking to? On what panels is he on? What interviews should he be doing? What topics should he be talking about, given the exact moment that we're in? As you were saying, it's all about the moment. It's about having the right moment and the right thing to say. And we are the best people to actually identify these opportunities and kind of bring them together. So on the contrary, I think as we go in more and more, and even us as an agency, we see this. We see that we have a lot of C-suites coming to us and say, I want you guys to handle my profile separately, because they understand how valuable it is, and then also that we are the right people to actually be supporting and consulting him on this, because we literally know exactly what to do, what's happening, what topics are trending in the press, what is happening in the region, etc., and what he should be saying, and so on and so forth. So just to answer your question, definitely we are leaning. This is already happening. It's already in the making. It's going to go more and more in this direction.
Yeah, just to add to that, like, I mean, if we're not the thought leadership experts, I don't think this would fall in any other entity except with PR, because marketing, they have their own strategies, whether that's a sales target or whatever it is. PR are the thought leadership experts, and we will continue to be in the next years.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, thank you, Corinna. The same question to you. Do you think that in the decade we will be there or closer to our ideal world, or where we are heading in let's say past 15 years already?
Yeah, I mean, ideal world is next 10 years we will have something else where we are heading for, right? But I think we are actually as establishing thought leadership for C-level decision makers. As I said, this is our sweet spot and the future to go. I also believe in integrated. I think it is the silos have to be broken, because communication has changed so much. We're communicating on so many different platforms with stakeholders, with journalists, with so many different people. So I think that is the future to go for all of us. I think that anybody who sticks still with the classic, pure, traditional picture of PR agency, these PR agencies will get a problem in the future. This is not where we're going. This is a bit of an old model. We will move into more proving our ROI. I think that's a very important aspect. I think we didn't really touch so much, but we can feel as an agency that in the past years, our clients much more want to approve, not AVE, much more different tools of proving our success and showing that we move with our work into the right direction. So I think that is something that we will work on in the next years, as well as really being business purpose focused as communication experts. And I think that's where we're going. Yeah. And in 10 years, we will talk about something else, Patrik, I'm sure.
Maybe a new AI tool.
Hey, Patrik, I'm just a quick build on that, and Corinna, what you're saying, and I think it's sort of thematic, and it may not feel like it's the most exciting part of the evolution of it, but I think some of the things that we're talking about are just like really the fundamentals of what we do. And I think, again, thinking about the time and thinking about Cannes, thinking about this year, which will be all of the fabulous things that happen at Cannes, I think there's part of me that's really curious, to be honest with you, about the 2026, because you know, we look at brand marketing, right? That's communications and marketing efforts that have the brand at the center versus the public relations piece, which is really audience centric. And I think, Corinna, what you're talking about, and Julie, everyone is really saying, like, I think no longer is one enough. And I think when we look at the trust in brands and we look at brands that are risk averse and brands that need to take more risks, in order to kind of do that, you have to have both of those perspectives in a really integrated way, where you're kind of balancing the business objective of the brand to be out front and center with a really deep understanding of how to reach the audiences in the right way at the right time. You know, again, some of those basic things. But I think in today's operating environment, integrated in almost like a bit of a new way, just given, I think, just the environment that we're in and sort of that the risk for brands to say anything. But I think the prominence of PR in that is just going to be even more critical. So whether it's an evolution or a greater appreciation, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Cara, Corinna, Judy, Sarah. I absolutely agree with you. I agree with you, Corinna, that in 10 years we will be talking about absolutely different topic than AI. And as an industry, we will find another topic which we will be discussing forth and back, and because we as an industry we are like that. And I really believe that and it can be seen also from the survey we did, that the time changes, and let's say the perspective of how we see the industry and how we are seen as an industry is also changing, and step by step we are getting into those boardrooms, and that we are actually changing the way how we evaluate what we do, or how we look at our services. And I think Paul Holmes about 10 years ago said that the PR industry will save itself if we will get to those boardrooms. But first of all, we have to change the way how we talk about ourselves, and that we have to move from earned media to evaluate the campaigns through business results. And I believe we are already getting there. And also AI will help us with that we can get rid of some let's say executive / junior activities, and we will leave it on AI. It will help us, and thanks to that we will have enough time to do the real consulting, and then help the leaders in this uncertain world, and we will be their partners for helping them to succeed in this in today's world. And so thank you for your inputs, and I might ask the participants if you might have some questions on us. I don't see anybody. Jolene, do you see any questions?
No questions as such.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we have some messages. Anyway, we and thank you that you like, or I'm glad that you like our insights. Anyway, all this will be discussed during panel discussions on Cannes Lions. I'm sorry, during Cannes Lions at our event PR in Cannes. It will take place at LBB Beach, and if you have registered, definitely we will see each other. Based on this webinar, we will, as I said, it was recorded and rewritten by AI. So we will, together with ICCO, we will prepare an article which will be circulated, of course, as a newsletter from ICCO and on ICCO's social media. So thank you very much. Thank you for attending. Again, Corinna, Cara, Sarah, Jody, thank you for joining me, and hope see you all at Cannes. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Take care. Bye.